Introducing FANZONE.
My friend Elliot from Canada.
We are still
Say we are
top of the league. Say we are top of the league. We are top of the league. Say we are top of the league.
Allows any fan, anywhere you are on the planet, to broadcast live into our shows at the push of a button via our website or app.
I'm tired of hearing about the Europa League like it's silverware. So is the League Cup. So is the Dubai Cup. So is the Community Shield.
Ah, Michael, come on, they're not the same level.
No, I mean it.
Cecile. My guy.
FANZONE on AFTV Plus. You can download it on iOS or the Play Store and have your say.
Oh God, McLaren gone. He's been in the pit 40 seconds. Whoa! Front wing, careful with the front wing. God! Matisse, it's happening, mate. I'm putting on my lucky new Ferrari hat. Oh no! Oh, science! Leclerc! It's Leclerc! Drama! Take that out. Leclerc.
Hi, and welcome along to AFTV. We are here for our starting 11 show. Massive game tonight. It is Arsenal back at home at the Emirates, taking on Southampton in an absolute must-win game that we can hopefully get 3 points and set it up big for the big one next week against Manchester City. Joining me to discuss the starting 11, we've got Lee Judges in the building. Julian is here. And also Dan Potts. Big up to Dan Potts. Guys, what can I say? Huge game tonight. A little rumour coming through, just to talk about right at the start of the show, is that, you know, we already know that there's going to be no Saliba in the team tonight. Now we're hearing that there's a possibility, and this is some of the rumours that are going around, that Xhaka may be out as well. Which that's not great news in a must-win game, but that is one of the rumours that is going around the place at the moment, Lee.
Massive blow if it is, massive blow. The only consolation is we're at home against one of the teams in the, well, they're bottom of the league. So, you know, if you're going to lose Xhaka, this is the game to lose him. But, yeah, it's getting a little bit worrying now. Like, you know, Xhaka obviously now going to be joined by with Saliba. Zinchenko also out. Tomiyasu also out. They're starting to mount up these injuries, like, you know, so it is a bit of a worry. And it'd be really interesting now to see who's actually going to come in. We've all had a little debate off air who it should be. And
who would it be for you? If and by the way, this is a rumour, but, you know, the rumour is that, you know, what is a lot of these guys sometimes on the inside, they can kind of pick up who's not travelled with the team, you know what I mean, who's maybe not come off the bus or who's maybe not in and around the team at the hotel or whatever. And that's the rumour that's coming out, that maybe Xhaka could be missing for this game. But if he is, and I say if because we've heard these rumours before and it's turned out to be false. It's not always, you know, sometimes it has turned out to be true as well. But if he is, who would you have in?
Smith Rowe or Vieira will be the two for me. Like,
Can only have one?
Smith Rowe.
Smith Rowe?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, first of all, on that possibility of Xhaka being out? I mean, he's been a mainstay of this team, and he actually recently he's been scoring goals as well. It will be a big miss, won't it?
Yeah, well, a few years ago I'd have said absolutely not. I'd be pleased that he's not playing, but on current form and what he's done for us, I'm really hoping that it's an unfounded rumour based on absolutely nothing, and he's in the team. But as Lee said, if we're going to have to lose him for one game, this would be the game, because Southampton at home, you look at the stats, we should be relaxed about this.
Relaxed?
We should be relaxed. If you look at the stats, we should be relaxed. They haven't beaten us in the Premier League at home. 23 games, they haven't beaten them.
Yeah, they've never beaten us at home.
No, 16 of them we've won. We're top of the league, they're bottom of the league. What could possibly go wrong?
Wow.
If you look,
please don't say that. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly have gone wrong last week at West Ham?
If you look at the stats, I was going to come on to. It was a little bit tongue in cheek. What could possibly go wrong? Because
he's digging himself out of that.
Dig yourself out.
Get a shovel for him.
If you'd let me continue, I would have said that football isn't played on stats. What's happened before doesn't necessarily mean what's going to now happen. And what should happen is Arsenal should win this game easily, with or without Xhaka. But the reality is, the reason why we love this game so much is because it is unpredictable. And not having Xhaka in the team, whoever you put in as a replacement, is going to weaken us.
Dan, this is absolutely, you know, must-win game, isn't it? We've come under heavy criticism over the past couple of games for letting 2-goal leads slip, and I think particularly the one last week, you know, at West Ham was very, very disappointing. Another team, by the way, Julian, who were right down the bottom of the table, which is what, you know what I mean, to just goes to show you. Mid-table. So, you know, these, sorry?
They're mid-table, they're not right at the bottom.
No, they're 2 points above the relegation zone even now. So I'm saying...
They're 2 points, but
they're at the bottom. They're 2 points off. They're 2 points off relegation.
Relegation fighting, Julian.
All right.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say.
What position of the table are they in?
They're 14th, if you go and speak to a West Ham fan, they don't care about 14th. Okay. All they'll say is we're 2 points off the drop.
Facts.
Right, so, and we dropped 2 points here, right? So we cannot afford to drop any more points in this game, especially confidence-wise going into that massive game against Manchester City next week, Dan.
It's massive, and it's crazy to sit there and think that we're nervous about going into a game against Southampton. I know that Julian's saying he's confident, but this is a nervy game because it's must win. You drop points here, people are going to be looking at Man City and going, over to you, because you can't do that. I'll tell you what, the Granit Xhaka one really worries me about his injury, is because Thomas Partey's performance without Zinchenko have not been as good. Without Zinchenko and Xhaka, that worries me, right? I'm not bigging on Thomas Partey because I think he's been outstanding, but that midfield control could be lacking. I'm with Lee. I think Smith Rowe will come in if it has to be Granit Xhaka being out. You could put Jorginho there holding and push Thomas Partey forward a bit, because I think Jorginho is more of an anchor than Thomas Partey. But it must...
Fabio Vieira as well?
The thing is with Vieira, it's probably an unpopular opinion to a lot of Gooners, but I don't think he's going to make it at this club. I look at the performances and I just don't get it. I look at him, you can blow him over. He don't look suited to the league. And
it's bloody early, isn't it? He's only just been in.
You say that, it is early days.
Season.
It is early days.
You know what people were saying about Grealish last year at City, and look how good he's been this year.
But do you think that Grealish had already kind of proved what he was about at Villa? I've not seen enough at Vieira. Like, listen, I'm up for the debate. If you think he's going to be a Santi Cazorla, then I'm happy to be proven wrong. But I ain't seen enough for me to look like that and go, do you know what, you're superb.
So if Xhaka is out, who would you have in then?
I'd have Smith Rowe, I think. Because, if Smith Rowe isn't 100% fit, I'll probably go Jorginho and Partey. If Smith Rowe's 100%, which he should be, he's on the bench, then I'll play Smith Rowe. It's worrying for me. This Smith Rowe thing's worrying. If he's behind Nelson and Vieira, what is wrong with him? That's my question to you. Is he not 100% fit? We don't fancy him anymore? Is it that he's just not quite 100% going to be ready for these games? Because this Granit Xhaka injury actually could massively affect us tonight. It could be. He's a really important player, mate, this season. He really is.
The other thing about that, Dan, is like, if you're going to play Jorginho and Partey now, this is a team that's going to sit with banks of 4 against us. We need someone that's going to penetrate.
Too negative, isn't it?
Yeah, someone's going to get in, going to go either with the ball carrier or going beyond. Smith Rowe does that very well. And if I look at it, Vieira has sort of come on in place of Xhaka in a few games, hasn't he? So I'll be very surprised if he goes down the Jorginho and Partey thing. And if he does, when he said about the players being brave, you know what I mean? I don't think that's very brave. I think you've got to be brave.
It's going to be a very interesting starting 11. Remember, coming up at around about 7 o'clock, that's when the teams will come out, and I think we're going to be all very, very interested to see what that team is, because this is a huge game, massive game. And despite what Julian is saying, right,
I was joking. It was a tongue-in-cheek comment.
This is the Premier League.
It's a question.
Even though, listen, I'm with you, and I expect us to win this game tonight, right, because of who we're playing. And you're right, they've never ever beaten us before at the Emirates. But we've got to be careful because this is a test
in the Premier League.
Yeah, and this is a test of nerves. This is a test of nerves for Arsenal because at home they're going to fight for their lives. You know what I mean. But at home we've been imperious.
Yeah, look, listen, it's they've caused us a few problems away from home, but at home this season we've been fantastic. You know what I mean? And listen. there's always a first time, isn't there? But if it was to be today, you know what I mean? It's a real kick in the teeth for us going for the title. I think Arsenal today, forget about the opposition. I think after the last couple of games away from home, they've got to come home today and make a statement. They've got to go in and go, right, you know, all the talk and all the chat about but all this and that, you know, this is when you go in that dressing room and go, look what everybody's saying about us. Yeah. Let's put it right today. We're at home, we're in front of our fans, let's put on a show. 4 games at home, 3 games away, is what we've got left now, like, you know, we've got to nail every single one of these games now, like, you know, and there's no room. Well, I don't think this is a bad thing. Sometimes, you know what I mean, when you've got no room for, you know, I like the burning the bridges one, like,
burn the boats.
Burn the boats or whatever, This is a thing where they've got now, there ain't no room for error now. You know exactly what you've got to do. Go out there and smash this team tonight. Yeah. I think, I'll be delighted if we win 1-0 today and we get the 3 points. But in a way, I'll be a little bit tinged with disappointment. I think tonight we've got to really put in a statement performance.
Get the confidence back up
just before that 4 or 5 today going into that game. And I tell you what, when we go, if we do go 2, I want to see us keep going tonight. Keep going.
And that's the thing.
Show the ruthlessness.
That's the thing, is that if we did go 2 up tonight,
wow, imagine.
It would be interesting to see what our reaction will be. You know what I mean? Because we've let, you know, past couple of games, those 2-goal leads slip. Jeremy Hickson with a super chat. He says, if Zinchenko is healthy, could he play in the midfield with Tierney at left back? Well, the problem is he's not healthy. He's not fit. And Dodgy Bob's not very happy with you, Dan. Probably must be after some of your comments. He says Arsenal... Oh, no, sorry. Oh, no, it wasn't. Dodgy Bob says Arsenal been better with Jesus back, but it's Dave Jordan who's not happy with you.
Surprise!
He says, who does Dan support? Hard to tell. He's always on your case.
Yeah, he loves me, man. He loves me.
Up front, do we stick with the same 3? I mean, think about it. I want you guys to think about it. Up front, the 3 that we got, the 3 players that played the last game, do we stick with that? But I just want to remind everybody, first of all, that this Start 11 is brought to you by NordVPN. Be invincible with an AFTV special where you can get 4 months free on a 2-year plan, right? And there's a money-back guarantee. Use the code AFTV at the checkout. Click the link below and visit nordvpn.com/AFTV for the AFTV special. Make sure you check that out, right?
It's somewhere in London and it's looking pretty red. Lee Judges is attempting to score some new content. He's got to get past a hacker, malware and password attacks. Lee takes off. But look, the hacker sends password attacks towards Lee. He's dispossessed of all his passwords and data. He goes again, but he's hacked to the ground. Look at Lee's in pain and they're mocking him. Wait, he's got a last-minute transfer deal. He's got NordVPN on his team now. I mean, is that even legal? Oh, that's next generation encryption, absolutely blinding the opposition. And the fastest VPN on the planet flies past password attacks, takes down the ball and scores! That's fresh content on your favourite streaming services. You're protected on multiple devices, back of the net. Just change your location in the app. Go to nordvpn.com/AFTV now.
Once again, don't forget the link is in the description. Use the code AFTV10 and you can get yourself that special discount on that 2-year plan. So get involved with that right now. Rizwan Khan says, I want to see Jesus play 90 minutes today. Come on, you Gunners. Asking all 3 of you, asked you just before that break. Who do you want the front 3 for you up today?
I said I wouldn't be surprised. I'll go with the same front 3, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jesus is left out today. Ooh. And I'll tell you why, because a few games in, the old adrenaline is there, and then you go through a little bit of a lull. And I don't, you know what I mean, maybe just protecting him for that Wednesday game.
Lull?
Yeah, do you know when you come back from a long-term injury, like you go back out and your adrenaline gets you through the first couple of games, and then you just fade off a little bit, like, you know. Not that he has, I'm just saying. And it may be that Arteta might think, well, we'll just give him a little break now before Wednesday. I don't think he will, but I wouldn't be, if Jesus wasn't in the starting lineup, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, but you're going for...
I'm going for Jesus, Martinelli and Saka.
Saka stays in for you?
100%.
There's been some people...
He's had a bad couple of games.
There's been a few people saying maybe to rest him out.
No. Yep. He had a rest at
Leeds.
Was it Leeds? He didn't have a rest at West Ham. Looks a bit harsh, that Julian. But what he did, he didn't have a good game. What I'll say, he didn't have a good game. If he's playing like he did on last Sunday, take him off. But listen, when you're a good player, you can have a bad game, but you know there's a good game round the corner. Saka will be all right, don't worry about it.
Okay, this guy here called Faith and Darts 0 says, I want Trossard to start. What's your front three?
I'd agree. I'd bring Trossard in.
Right.
I don't want to use, it sounds negative to say to drop Saka, but on the last couple of performances, I think out of the three of them, he would be the weakest link. So you'd take him out, bring Trossard in, and it's not just about tonight. I think that would give him that kick for next Wednesday. 'Cause next Wednesday
kick by playing tonight and maybe, getting back to getting a couple of goals or a couple of assists. And he has been the player that the most goal contributions of any player in the Premier League. You want to leave him out? In
the last couple of games, his performances, if you had to pick one of those three to take out, it would be him. The other point is, you wouldn't drop him from the squad, he'd be on the bench.
You drop him from the starting 11, that's what I'm saying.
I'd drop him from the starting 11, and the impact he could have off the bench if things weren't going to plan could be massively beneficial, that we could change things up.
So were you playing Trossard then?
I would play Trossard probably in the middle, and I'd have Jesus on the right. But the thing is, with the way Arteta plays is but the way he plays is they play in zones of the pitch rather than exact positions. They're always interchanging anyway. So it's not such an important aspect of what position, because they're not that static.
All right, what about you, Dan?
I'm with Lee. Saka, Martinelli, Jesus. If there is one that misses out, I'm actually going to go with Julian. I think it might be Saka. He's been leggy, he's been exhausted, and he's taken Jesus off. And I've been surprised in the last couple, if I'm honest, that Saka's lasted that long. Particularly West Ham, it weren't going right for him. He'd missed a penalty, it didn't look like he was himself. I would have taken him off. But I think you start with your best 11 a day, kill the game off, and then you bring your best 5 players off ready for Wednesday. That's what I would do. And Trossard is one of those that comes on for me. Because I think, do you know what? It's actually been quite harsh to drop Trossard because he's been that good. Like, he's been superb. And this is what I want in every position. We want people interchanging. We want to say, do you know what? Saka's not quite right. In you come. Jesus got a knock. In you come. Xhaka today. We're all going, what are we going to do here? Should be in you come. And that's what we need to look at next season for me. Moving forward.
Listen, for me, I'm with you guys. Saka starts for me. You know what I mean? He's been our best player. I still think this season, as I said, his goal contributions have been insane. He's had a couple of games where, I wouldn't even say a couple, I thought he was all right against Liverpool. He wasn't that bad. All right, he didn't score, but it was one of those games that in the second half, we were, his back's against the wall, so we didn't really see him forward that much. He's unless there's any sort of worries with his energy, he starts for me. If there's a worry with his energy, then maybe, you say, right, we keep you back for the City game. But for me, we've got to deal with every game that's in front of us, right? And the game in front of us tonight is Southampton, right? And we need to win that game. We ain't won it yet, and to win that game, we need our best players on the pitch. And for me, that's why I want to see Saka start. And I want to see Jesus start as well.
The thing about
the lull you're talking about, but I hear what you're saying on that. But again, he's looked electric since he's come back.
He's brilliant.
And I fancy him to score a couple of goals tonight.
This thing about energy and all that, like, they're playing one game a week.
They are playing one game a week, Lee. But don't you think now you're starting to see, not just at Arsenal, you're starting to see right across the board the amount of games that teams are playing. We're getting to that end of the season.
But I'm saying we went out of the FA Cup. We went out.
No, but even without
to allow this to happen.
But even without that, just the sheer volume of games in a season that you play starts to catch up with you.
The sheer volume of games to the business end of the season to be playing once a week. That's unreal.
It should be easy for us, because the other side of it is that the opposition have got loads of games as well, and the opposition, especially tonight, don't have the depth of squad that we have.
Yeah, and the opposition have got, and the opposition. By the way, this is how you guys have to look on it for all clubs. Yeah, The opposition are missing quite a few players as well. They're missing about 4 of their stars. That's what I'm saying. So this time of year, every team, it's not just Arsenal, every team starts to feel it. It's the sheer volume of games. You saw the other night for City, Ake limp off. You saw United last night, they're missing Varane, they're missing Martinez.
And
they were missing Rashford. And they did limp out. But that's what I'm saying. But it's what that is games catching up with teams, right?
And that's why the squad's important.
That's why squads are very important.
That's why you take a player like Saka out of the team, because we've got a good enough replacement to just give him a little breather.
The problem we have is that little buffer that we had a few weeks ago has gone. And now we're at the stage now where every game that sits in front of us is a must-win game. Yeah. It's a cup final. Red Square says, can't wait for Jesus, Zini and Trossard to start. But you know what I mean? So every game in front of us now is a vital game. And this one's one of them. There's no margin for error whatsoever. I mean, funny enough, I don't know if you guys saw, it was very interesting today. There was some talk going on, if I can find it up on my screen here, about some of the players getting linked with Arsenal for the summer. And
Mbappe, was it Ireland?
Mason Mount. Mason Mount, and also Declan Rice, who scored a great goal last night, by the way. You know, actually, to talk a little bit more about this, we're going to go quickly to James, right? James, listen to what James is saying about the possibility of our starting lineup, what it could look like next year if some of these players that are linked came in. Have a look at this.
All right, so I know it's very ambitious, but let's bring up a starting 11 here. Yes, it does have Mason Mount, Moises Caicedo and Declan Rice all in midfield. But I think what's really interesting about the three links is that you've actually got 3 very different midfielders. Mount, who was linked today, reports that apparently Arsenal have actually started holding talks with Chelsea, well, not with Chelsea, with Mason Mount to gauge an idea for whether he'd want the move. He's much more of a final third player. We know his output's decent. I think 30 goals and 37 assists and about 195 appearances for Chelsea since he became a first-team regular after that Derby loan he had with Frank Lampard. But it's interesting because he'll play in very similar areas as a Smith Rowe, a Odegaard, a Fabio Vieira. So do we really need a player like that in that position? Compare it to Caicedo. And here's some quotes from Caicedo. Let me just read these out, actually. He said in an interview that a lot of the quotes came out today. He said, I was really close to joining Arsenal, so I suffered a lot. That's talking about the January window. He said, I like them because they have young, talented players and stars, but they always have that mindset of wanting more. I'm sure I'm going to have many more opportunities. That's what Caicedo said, talking about the January transfer window. He also said that he wants Arsenal to win the league. When he said, of course I'd want Arsenal to win it. So that's interesting because Arsenal did have a bid of 75 million for him, rejected. I think they did 70 and then 75. It didn't happen. They ended up going for Jorginho instead. He has signed a new contract since then, but could a move be on the cards in the summer? And then you've got Declan Rice as well, who is somewhere in between Mount and Caicedo. Can play as a 6, but is also a box-to-box. That's why we've got him there in Xhaka's position on the starting 11. So yeah, Rice would sort of be competing with Granit Xhaka potentially. If you saw his goal yesterday, you'd see kind of why he could play that area quite well, but he could slot into some of the other areas as well. And what could the squad potentially look like? Again, it's ambitious, it's unlikely, but look at the depth we have in certain areas. Perhaps Rice giving a little bit of depth at Xhaka role. Could Smith Rowe play in those areas too? Caicedo, we know, wants to play at the base, or maybe could play in Xhaka's role a little bit more, and then Mount can play, in those areas we touched on with Odegaard, Vieira, and Smith Rowe maybe as well. So yeah, interesting that we're linked with 3 very different types of midfielders, but it's clearly an area of the pitch Arteta wants to address. So let's get everyone's thoughts about it back on the sofas.
Yeah, so what do you think then? You know what I mean? When you're looking at that,
what I like
Declan Rice,
and what
Mason Mount.
Well, all right, let's take all 3 in account there. What I like about that is that our midfield does need a drip. Even though it's great at the moment, you've got Partey who's coming up 30, Xhaka who's coming up 31. The way that we play and the legs we need in, we need to have younger players as well. If we was to bring those 2 out of those 3, and guess which one I'm leaving out, but 2 out of the 3, I would be happy with just those 2 signings next season.
Rice and Caicedo.
Yeah.
Or Riceado as a guy.
That's going to cost us a lot of money, by the way. It's going to cost us 120 million, 130 million for those 2.
Sure, probably more than that.
Yeah, I just thought.
More than that, because
maybe even more.
Caicedo, remember when we were going for him, that was like 80.
So 140, 80 each, so that's 160 million. That's a lot of money. I don't think we'd be able to get any. But I will take that. If you said to me, "We're having those two in their midfield with what we've got," I think we'll be. I think that would be very, very exciting.
Ratko says, "Laugh out loud." Odegaard disrespected. No, listen, we're not taking Odegaard out of the team. We're just giving you a scenario
Strength and depth.
That what strength and depth would look like. Would you have Mason Mount at Arsenal?
Depends how much, and also.
If money's no object, right?
Yeah,
so it don't matter about them.
All right, but for me,
Would you have Mason Mount? Would you be happy with Mason Mount at Arsenal?
If money was no object, I'd have every Premiership player currently in this playing.
Why are you
for
always so
Arsenal.
difficult? I'm just asking a question.
Because the reality is,
forget the money part of it right now.
It is a problem.
Forget the money part of it right now, right?
Okay.
If we could get Mason Mount, if that's possible, we could get Mason Mount in the summer.
Instead of who?
Would you have him?
Instead of who? Or just Mason Mount extra on top?
Well, I don't know.
Also, if it's Mason Mount extra on top, and it doesn't cost any more, you'd have him.
I wouldn't sell Smith Rowe to fund that.
And I wouldn't have it. And at the moment, I think Reece Nelson, I wouldn't kick him into touch because I think he's got potential. From what I've seen of him this season, the cameos he's played have been tremendous. There's obviously a player in there. To get the consistency, you'd have an up-and-coming star there. You've got an up-and-coming star. You've just got to get the consistency, so probably not.
Would you have Mount?
But if it's for free, I'll take anything for free.
So, if those three were coming into Arsenal, I'm not going to sit there and start throwing my toys out the pram because I think all of them can do a job in the squad, right? I think Declan Rice is the one that I would have as number one. I think he looks sensational, I really do, and I think he can play in both those positions of Partey and Xhaka. The Caicedo one I feel might have just been, I'm not sure that's going to happen now. I think that had to happen in January if it was going to happen at all. I think if they look at that and Tielemans and see Tielemans as a free, they might look at that and think, we'll go with a cheaper option. As for Mason Mount, I think he's a workhorse, don't get me wrong, but I'm not so sure I see the goal contributions from him. I'd rather go, if it's going to cost some money, I'd rather go and get a James Maddison or somebody like that for me. That's just my opinion. But listen, Odegaard, Partey and Xhaka is... For me, there'd only be Rice getting into that front three out of those three players.
Okay. All right, well, listen, we're only a few minutes away from knowing what the starting 11 is going to be for tonight. Forget about all them possibilities for the summer. Tonight, will Xhaka be in there or are the rumours true? We're going to find out in the next couple of minutes. Just before that, you know what? We're starting to get towards the end of the season. We're thinking about summer holidays and stuff like that.
Lovely.
Well, not you, because you're on holiday every week. I know you.
His boy's skiing out with him tonight.
I know some of you are thinking about it, so think about this. If you're travelling soon, why pay more? Just change your location before you travel so that you can explore local prices on accommodation, flights, car rentals, and events. Once you're in your destination country, you can change your location back to the UK. So it's easy to access your emails, banking, and subscriptions. Click the link to unlock your internet freedom with NordVPN. And with the AFTV special, you can save even more. Click the link to be invincible. We're back, so once again, don't forget to check out NordVPN. 30-day money-back guarantee. Use the code AFTV, click the link in the description as well and visit nordvpn.com/AFTV for the AFTV special. Super chat here from Adam Greet who says, why not play all four? He's on about tonight's game. He's on about playing Saka, Trossard, Jesus and Martinelli. Is Southampton at home? Beat the low block with Odegaard and Trossard supplying Martinelli, Jesus and Saka. Thoughts?
Good day. Do you know what? That isn't a bad shout, you know.
Yeah.
That is not a bad shout, Trossard playing there. Listen, he's not. I don't think Trossard is a player that can't play anywhere. In this side, he seems to be able to suit to right, left, centre, number 10, false 9, and I think he could be an attacking 8. I do think that. We might have to look at what we do with Odegaard. Might have to be a little bit more disciplined than he usually is, but I do think that's an option. It's going to be interesting. Listen, Granit Xhaka could play. We don't know. It's only a rumour in it at the moment, but if he is going to be out, then we are going to have to look at that position, and our midfield could be affected by that in terms of our transition. So.
If he is out as well, that's the thing. I wonder how long for. That's the other worry.
Well, that's the worry, isn't it? The other thing is, Mikel said no injury issues other than what we've got, and then all of a sudden there's another one coming there, like, you know. So
you calling him a liar?
Yeah, I'm not calling him anything.
It might not be an injury. It might be a disciplinary problem. Wouldn't put it past him.
We've gone out of all competitions and now we're getting injuries. When we were in them, we didn't have any. Do you know what I mean? So it's bizarre. We've gone out of everything and now we're still getting injuries.
It's unbelievable. We get all these rest days and we get injured.
It's worrying, mate.
They're injury days.
He's been shopping, hasn't he? Not with you, because he wouldn't have nothing heavy to pick up, would he? Like you, you know what I mean?
I mean, potentially Tomiyasu, Saliba, Zinchenko, and Xhaka. I mean, let's hope they ain't out for a long period of time because they're key, aren't they? I mean, Tomiyasu.
Well, you're going to Man City game in midweek. You need your best players playing. You need everybody there, really. Like so we're already without Saliba.
So it could be just precautionary to come on
that's
back.
what you got to hope for.
Yeah.
But it's again, it's. I remember sitting here before the Man City game, looking forward to it, and then we had these rumours Partey weren't about, and they turned out to be true. Come Wednesday, I want to see all our players back, but it's not going to happen.
Well, breaking news! I have for you the starting 11 that will play tonight against Southampton. In goal, Aaron Ramsdale. Right back, Ben White. Centre backs, Rob Holding, no Saliba as we know, and Gabriel. Zinchenko in at left back. Zinchenko starts the game.
That's good news.
A midfield of Partey, Odegaard and
Vieira.
Xhaka.
It's up on the board, look.
Vieira, no Xhaka, those rumours are true. No Xhaka in the starting 11, and then a front three of Saka, Jesus and Martinelli. The bench is Turner, Walters, Tierney, Kivior, Jorginho, Nelson, Smith Rowe, Trossard and Eddie Nketiah. That is the team to play tonight. Immediate reaction, no Xhaka, not even on the bench.
Okay, now this is what surprises me now. Can Zinchenko not play in this midfield role? Because
he looks like he's coming in as a left back, isn't he?
Yeah, so is Tierney could not go left back and Zinchenko go left.
Well, he could have done that, but why has he done that?
Well, I don't know. Vieira is obviously his man, isn't he? Smith Rowe, worrying signs.
It's a surprise that because we didn't know that nobody thought that Zinchenko would be back in Lee, but we were all thinking that Zinchenko was still going to be out injured. So Xhaka's out, but Zinchenko's back in. So that's at least one.
That's a good thing. I will say this about. I know that Tierney done okay against West Ham. Not having a go at him, I thought he done well. But there's two of your back four out. Like now, Zinchenko's back in. That's at least you've got three of the normal back four there now. It's only Saliba out, so maybe a little bit of continuity. That's why they may have gone for that. Also, this is it now for Vieira. This is,
it's got to turn up today.
He turned up at Brentford that time and done very, very well. I believe that he's done the right thing. It had to be Vieira or Smith Rowe for this run because it's going to. I think away from home, I think he may have gone the Jorginho route. But listen, this is what you've been waiting for, Fabio. He's got to deliver.
Yes.
Smith Rowe on a bench for? Is he not fit? Smith Rowe. Is he on the bench?
Well, he's on the bench.
He's on the bench.
Why is he not playing then, do you reckon? Is he injured still?
Well, maybe he just fancies, at this moment in time, he fancies Fabio Vieira more than Smith Rowe.
Because you could actually put Odegaard to the left and played him in the Xhaka role and Smith Rowe in that role, what he normally does, would be more suited to him. But he's not gone down there.
Okay, let me give you the Southampton team. In goal, it's Bazunu and Bazunu. And then Spednarak, Belia Kochuk, Perno, Kyle Walker-Peters, Alcaraz, Elanusi, Lavia, Ward-Prowse, Adam Armstrong and Theo Walcott making his return to the Emirates.
They've got a couple of players out, haven't they?
Yeah.
They have got a few players out.
And they're also missing Maitland-Niles.
Got to watch that Lavia in midfield. I think,
Maitland-Niles, he's not playing. In and out Maitland-Niles, I noticed in the last few games.
Well, he can't play, can he? Because
can't play today because obviously we're his parent club, but he hasn't really hit the ground.
No, he's been... I think like he was with us.
Yeah,
he's in and out. He's also been playing different positions. He hasn't nailed down any particular position at Southampton. I'm not saying his career's petering out, but he's probably finding his level, which is a bit of a journeyman in a Premiership team.
Not consistent enough, is he?
No, it's not. He's not nailed down his position, has he?
Ricky Proctor says one of Rice, Caicedo, and then a Plan B striker is the second most important. Last few games have shown the need for that Giroud type hold-up striker up front. So that's what he's saying for,
I tell you
for
what,
the summer.
Talking about Giroud, like, you know what I mean? Semi-finals, he keeps going. He's
Yeah, and he scored as well.
He scored a goal.
Missed the penalty, then scored.
He does a job wherever he's gone, doesn't he?
Big time player.
Big time player, yeah.
King Gunner says, shout out to my wife, Charlene. Who's looking after the baby tonight? No, it's a different Charlene. He says, while I catch my beloved Arsenal and tuck into a cheeky Nando's, big up to you all.
Cheeky Nando's.
Big up to you, King Gunner. Happy with the team then, guys?
Yeah, I mean,
no, because you want your best players playing.
With what's available, I think, you know, we can't sit there and cry too much. But the Vieira one is a drop off, don't get me wrong. But it's trying to prove everyone wrong, to prove that he's good enough for the side, you know.
I mean, what is the news on Xhaka?
That's the thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. Let's. I don't know if the guys are gonna let me know, but would like to know what that news is on Xhaka while he's, you know. Don't know if the manager has said yet. William Contreras says, wild take perhaps. He goes, I would have benched our star boy for this one. I think he needed a break. That's why we've invested in Trossard. Martinelli, Trossard and Jesus would have been up front for my front three. Thoughts, boys? We have just been discussing that. Personally, for me, I think you start Saka. You know what I mean? And you know, if he's had a couple of games where his form's dipped, you know, what better to play him back into form with a home game up against a team that's the bottom of the league, get him back into form because we are going to need him come next week.
And also with Xhaka out, you can't keep leaving everybody out now, like, do you know what I mean? Maybe was thinking about that, but then Xhaka being out,
Xhaka, Saliba and the others, he's thinking,
you know, you don't want to start leaving him out and then another.
According to James, if I've lip read correctly, he's unwell.
Unwell, okay.
Who said that?
Yeah.
Unwell.
Am I right in saying that?
Unwell, James?
So
unwell's...
That's all right.
Unwell, you know, normally if he's got...
They probably had a cheeky Nando's.
Could be something like that. It could have the flu or, you know, and you know, obviously...
Or it could have been lasagna, you never know.
And obviously, the manager's obviously thinking to himself, well, number one, you don't want to play a player that's unwell.
Yeah.
No, of course not.
You know, you'll drop off, you know what I mean? And then also... You know, you've got to, again, have that guy ready for next week, as we see on the screens at the moment. Mikel Arteta talking
I'll tell you what
to
Sky.
About
people being ill. You never hear of no one getting COVID no more, do you? Like, you know what I mean?
It could be COVID.
It could be. That's what I'm saying.
Well, let's hope it's not COVID that keeps him out for ages. Rizwan Khan says, remember, Mikel has spoken very highly of Vieira. I think we're going to see Fabio arrive today. ESR needs to take his opportunities when they come. And Cliff says the geezer before was right. Should be Tierney as left back, Zinni replacing Xhaka. If Xhaka is still hurt, that is what we need to do against City. By the way, on the Emil Smith-Rowe thing, I saw today that rumours linking him again with Aston Villa, and they might come back in for him in the summer. Would you sell?
Do you know what? Listen, I'm a big Smith-Rowe fan and everything like that, but there are going to be casualties in the summer, you know, because if you're going to go for big-time players, you're going to have to sell. And if you're getting, 40, 45 million for a player that's not hardly featuring, the Arsenal will take you, I think, like, you know. So, listen, I honestly believe you're going to be disappointed with one or two players leaving at the end of this summer that we're not going to like. But that is part and parcel of it all, and he's going to be one of them because he's worth a lot of money.
Yep.
Personally, I wouldn't, but I think that.
Would you sell?
I'd want to loan him. I'd want to put him out on loan and then take a view on it because it's too young to he's too young to discount. I mean, the form and the promise that we saw in his first few seasons would indicate to me that he could easily become a £100 million player. So to give him away not give him away, but to sell him for 40 million now, I think would be a mistake.
Listen, the only players I'd sell right now are the ones that are on loan. The Pepes, the Lokongas, the Tavares, the Pablo Maris. I wouldn't be selling Smith-Rowe. He's a great backup player. It's just because he's been injured for a year. Are we saying get rid of Tomiyasu then? Because he's been injured for 2 years. No, we're not. Because he's good cover. Smith-Rowe's good cover as well. Kieran Tierney, get rid of him. We can get money for him. I don't want to be getting rid of him. He's good cover. Because what will happen, we'll sell him, we'll sell Smith-Rowe, and then Martinelli and Zinchenko will get injured and everyone will be crying. So let's keep the players that are actually squad players in, and let's build on this. Let's not start weakening our squad. Let's make it stronger. That's what I think.
I agree with you. Joe AFC Largy says defence, Gabriel, Ben White, Zinchenko and Tierney. Tenko says Xhaka celebrating Eid, I think. He says, well, you better not be, right? Or hopefully. Juice Sauce says, big up to AFTV. Thoughts on looking to get Ruben Neves from Wolves in the summer? I like him.
Yeah, I do like
Ruben Neves. Let me remind you of the team once again that is going to play the game tonight. It's Aaron Ramsdale, Gabriel, Zinchenko is back, Ben White, Rob Holding, Fabio Vieira, Thomas Partey, Martin Odegaard, Gabriel Martinelli, Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Jesus. And the bench is Matt Turner, Kieran Tierney, Jakob Kivior, Royal Waters, Emil Smith-Rowe, Jorginho, Eddie Nketiah, Leandro Trossard and Reece Nelson. Just a couple more super chats before we go here. VJ says, why is Xhaka playing now? Why isn't he? He's been that good and undroppable. Crazy times we have in our hands. He says, come on, your gunners. That's true, because you said it earlier, Julian. Once upon a time, everybody be like, yeah, who cares? But now he's a vital player in the team.
Do you know what would be interesting? Just looking at that bench, when you've got Xhaka out, you've got Saliba out, they've got a couple more. It'd be hard to leave a couple of them out, wouldn't it? That are not available.
Yep. All right, and
style bench when you think about it, when everybody's fit.
Yep. Yeah. Ricky Proctor says we need to be ruthless. Some players were good for 5th to 8th for Arsenal, but won't be that top 2 team. Loyalty shouldn't pull us down, and he makes a good point in that. It's about taking that next step. Guys, listen, I want to thank you very much for the starting 11. We're all going to the game, aren't we?
Yeah.
Don't forget the watch along is coming up, right? The guys are here and they're ready for the big watch along tonight. I'll be down there at the ground. I'll be speaking to fans after the game as well, getting their opinions on hopefully a massive win for Arsenal. But we're not even looking. You notice I haven't really spoken much about City, because that don't matter right now. What matters is winning this game tonight, Friday night. Can Arsenal get the job done back at home in front of our own fans, and then look forward to the next game, which will be Manchester City. Let's hope we can get that done. Before we leave, I just want you to take a look at this. See you later. NordVPN is the ultimate tool for exploring the internet. It's like having a Swiss Army knife that protects you from online threats, helps you to access fresh content, and gives you anonymity, and so much more. So make sure that you've got NordVPN in your arsenal. Get it? In your arsenal? Click the link. And with the AFTV special, you can save even more. Click the link to be invincible.